Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Arif Amirul bin Ruslan, and my groupmate is Azrael Firdaus bin Azmi, and our student ID is 2019-273832 and 2019-2864 and 12, respectively. So today I will be explaining about our assignment, which is manufacturing process and technology. The assignment for my group is manufacturing process for fabric plastic container. So, what is the most suitable manufacturing process to fabricate plastic container? The most suitable is extrusion blow molding. So, blow molding process in which air pressure is used to inflate soft plastic into a mold cavity. Best suited for producing hollow plastic products such as bottles, water jugs, tube packaging, immediate bulk container, and storage tanks. So it is also limited to thermoplastics, and the raw material for this manufacturing process is high density polyethylene, polypropylene, polyvinyl chloride, and polyethylene terephthalate, which is PET. So, moving on to the extrusion blow molding process. So, for the first step, which is here, an extruder is used to plasticize the plastic pellets and form the parison. So, here at the material loading is the plastic pellets. So it goes through the screw and got heated and or melting at here, the stage, and then it pushed out and becomes parison. Okay, so then parison is placed between the halves of the mold. So like here, it is between the mold. And next step, which is heated plastic, is extruded into parison. So the parison is heated. Then the next step is the mold closes around the parison. So here, it shows that the mold is closing, so that it can begin the process. So next step, compressed air is blown into the parison, which it inflates. So as you can see here, the plastic pellet is not the same shape or does not fit into the mold. So that's where the compressed air comes to function, which is it flows inside the parison so it can expand or inflates. So the parison fills the mold, and then after that the product is trimmed, so there will be some excess of plastic pellets, so it will be trimmed before the final product. And lastly, the mold is opened and the finished piece is ejected. So as you can see here, it closes, then it also opens the mold after the product is trimmed. So then it will go through post cooling. Then it can finally be the final product. Okay, moving on to the control parameters. So the melt temperature, it changes the viscosity of the material. The extruder speed, it determines the speed that the parison is made. So for blow time, holding the pressure on the product keeps it in contact with the mold and increases the cooling. Moving on, blow pressure. It helps to pick up surface detail in the mold. Comparison drop time. How long the person hangs and stretches before the mold closes. If the person is off-center, it will cause thickness variation around the circumference of the part. Okay, moving on to the last one, which is safety and precautions. So, the first one, floor and machine should be kept free of oil and pellets. Next, always wear adequate noise protection because it will be so loud in the factory. Next, wear protective gloves when making adjustment on hot die head components. Moving on, be conscious of sharp square corners on mold components and cavity parting line edges. So that is why we cut the excess. Moving on, never stand directly below a mold suspended in air. Moreover, never reach over or under machine guards. And lastly, do not wear personal effects such as bracelet, watches, rings, or chains during work shifts engaged in operating the blow molding machine. So moving on to Azri.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Azri Fidaus B. Azvi from J4EM1104A. Today I will talk about advantages of the extrusion blow molding process. The first advantage is it can produce variety of products such as fuel tanks, flower pots, toys wheel and food container. The next advantage is it is low cost. It is because the machine use lower level of pressure, which is easier and more cost efficiency. The next one, another factor of low cost is because most of the extrusion blow molding process use the thermoplastic, which is can be melt and hardened using a waste. The third one is can increase productivity. It is when the machine use high volume output, it can produce vast number of finished product. Another factor is because the machine allow 3D molding, which is allow production faster. The next one is disadvantages of the extrusion blow molding process. Firstly, it highly depends on petroleum. It become a threat, diminishing oil supply in the world. This is because it take a long time to get a petrol. And then the second one is environmental impact. Environmental impact means it is because the thermoplastic is non-biodegradable. So as we know, it will take 1000 years to dispose the thermoplastic. It will affect the sea, glaciers and forests. The third one is limited capability. The limited capability here means difficulties with thickness, which is difficult to control, and then difficulties to produce complex geometry of the component with good dimension and accuracy. The last one is possible defect that could happen during the fabrication. The non-uniform wall thickness of blow molding product. The causes is the extruded blank is skewed. The temperature difference between the inner and outer core is large. And asymmetrical appearance, the blow ratio of the blank is too large. To overcome these causes is because the first one is adjust the die gap to make the wall thickness even, and then the next one is increase or decrease the temperature, and then the third one is reduce a billet expansion. The last one is make sure the blow pin and the mold are the perfect match. The second one is poor surface. It is caused by subpar mold surface, which we can overcome it by refinishing the mold. The last one is surface wall defects, which is wall bubbles. The causes is moisture or water particles condensed in the cold resin due to warm and high humidity climates. To overcome this problem, we can install hopper dryer and try to keep the resin warm, and we can make sure cooling water flow in extruder feed opening is not so high. That's all from me. Thank you, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.